Bill Belichick once said, no days off. He stole that from us. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. I'm Aslan, joined by Corey Clark and Irish O'Fell, managing editor and senior writer, lead writer. Reverse order, though. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. You're going to give us all this knowledge for free. I can't believe it. I'm ready. I'm stoked.
That sounded sarcastic.
Well, I am. Michelob, look at Corey. Big guy's ready to go.
Man, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Going to be a long night of drinking these bad boys.
All right. I'll start with you, Ira. We'll open up the phone lines here shortly, but I guess just week 2 of preseason camp. What were your big takeaways, I guess, from speaking to Coach Mike Norvell and other coaches and players?
I mean, I think the biggest, I wouldn't say revelation, but the most concrete thing that I think came out of this week was that for any pretense we had that the quarterback competition was going to be a 4-horse race for long, I don't think that's the case. Certainly Chuba Purdy getting hurt abbreviated a little bit the competition for now anyway, until Purdy gets back in a few weeks. But it seems pretty clear, I think, from everything Mike Norvell's been saying, that James Blackman is ahead of the game. And, it's not a shocking development by any stretch, but I think we know now as they go into their second scrimmage tomorrow that every indication is that James Blackman's going to be the starting quarterback this year. So we have some clarity there, at least.
If anybody listens to headlines and you want to know what Jeff was talking about, that's the yarn behind Ira. That's the yarn he sees. That's the yarn he was talking about.
But if they don't, then they have no idea what you're talking about, Corey.
Well, yeah, but either way, there's a lot of yarn there because, you could tell them, Ira, you could fill them in. Crochets.
Yeah, see, Jeff goes into the studio to do it. You're in different locations every week. And when we do Seminole headlines on 97.9 in Tallahassee, and then I usually am right here in our living room with my wife's crocheting materials behind us, which became a subject of the conversation this week.
And if you want to know what my big takeaway was,
I do.
You didn't ask me, so that's why I started talking about the yarn. I agree with Ira. It's good. It's a good take. The fact that he was specific. He hadn't mentioned Tate Rodemaker really or Jordan Travis by name in any of the camps or any of the press conferences, and he was specifically asked about them today, specifically just those two. And it turned into how all three are doing well. Blackman's doing well. He did say that Jordan Travis. I thought it was interesting that he's like, let us coach you. Let us try to coach you. I thought that was interesting because we all know maybe how the last coaching staff felt about his throwing ability. But other than that, the way he spoke about Jordan and Tate makes it like James Blackman's got a real inside track for the starting position. He wasn't dismissive of them. It's just he didn't talk about them as glowingly as he talked about James Blackman.
Jared, this is a little Sam Adams. Still sipping the Sam Adams. I think the other thing is, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, they feel like James, we all know, we have all talked about it. James's biggest issue, certainly last season, but even going back to his freshman season, was the propensity to let one mistake snowball into 2 or 3 or 4 mistakes and not really being able to kind of play through those. It sounds like he's done better in camp. In fact, Mike Norvell said this morning, early on, they had a couple interceptions, not just by him, but 2 different quarterbacks had interceptions. And he said he felt like both of them came back and got through it pretty well from a mental standpoint. And that's what you need to see. Now, I don't even know if Mike Norvell and his staff know if it's going to translate to games. It's a whole different thing on a Saturday as opposed to today. What's up, Beth?
I got a question. What would Jimbo's disposition be if in the first 2 periods of team his quarterback threw interceptions?
That's a fine question.
But we don't know what Norvell's temperament was. He might have screamed at him too. It's just they bounce back. That's kind of what he's looking for, is the bounce back, not necessarily. I'm sure he wasn't like, hey, you'll get him next time, James. He doesn't strike me as that type of coach. But Jimbo, you probably could have heard Jimbo from Gordo's. I would think I think you could hear Jimbo from Gordo's, especially with kids still not all the way on campus yet. I think
if it was Ponder, he might have rolled with it.
Yeah.
He liked him some Ponder.
All right.
He did.
All right, we'll open the phone lines here, 850-792-5730. I need to update this banner that I'm going to have on the bottom of the screen because the Norvell 2020 code is no longer. Hopefully everybody took advantage of it while they could. It was a good one. I assure you that. Should have had us all prepared, but you know me. I like to wing it. People like winging it, right? That's how Corey's made his entire living and his entire following, right? Just
Hey, man, I don't wing it. There's a method to this madness. I act like I don't care. I act like I just go by the fly by the seat of my pants, all loosey goosey. But it's all an act. This is all I care deeply about what I'm doing.
It's like the great jazz musicians. The basics, the fundamentals are there. They have put in hours and hours, 10,000 hours to perfect their craft, and then that's where you see the greatness come out, is the improvisation.
I mean, I like the jazz musician comparison. I would also say, a great basketball player that, its ability to make the pass, in any wherever you have to be. Like, it's not going to just be it can't always just be a traditional bounce pass. Sometimes you got to put a little spin on it. Sometimes you nutmeg them.
What's going on over here? The internet at the Midtown offices looks a little bit shaky. We got a phone call, but let's see who it is. Who we got on the phone line? Welcome on into the happy hour. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, fellas? What's up, fellas, on this Friday? Hey, Aslan. Hey, Corey. Hey, Ira. Skater Kurt.
There he is.
How you guys doing?
How's it going,
man? What's up, man?
Doing well. Getting excited like a kid at Christmas, 3 weeks away.
That's what we're talking about, man. What do you think about the first 2 weeks? What's caught your ear? What are you most excited about after 2 weeks of preseason camp, Gator Girk?
Just the way the coaches talk and how the players talk about them, about the instruction they get and the purpose that for everything they do, they explain the why. Just like I'm a teacher, so I mean that's what teachers do. So they have a teaching philosophy to football, and it seems that the players have really bought in. So I just think when you have that, I think the players are going to work for you a lot harder than normal.
Definitely. That's what we're hoping for, right? Team building, all that stuff.
Especially when you're being held accountable during practice. Like if you've got to earn your praise instead of you're just giving praise all the time, then it's going to make you work harder, and you got to find those motivational tools for each one and, try to get the best out of everyone you got out there.
I hear you. What's your question for us today, Girk? G?
All right. I was wondering if the football team would ever wear the blue uniforms like basketball does to support the Native American heritage and the Seminole tribe. I believe that's in October. That's October's month. So I was wondering if they ever had any plans to do that.
I love it. I think gold helmets, turquoise tops, gold pants would look amazing.
I think it looked cool. And I'm not a big fan of the alternate jerseys, especially the black ones. You can just go burn them. But I think that would look really cool. And I think it'd be a nice way to honor them once because the basketball team does it, I feel like at least twice a year, the basketball team does it.
They did it. They're doing it more now because the players really love it.
Yeah.
They've actually won it more than that. It's a good question. We definitely need to ask somebody because I think it's something that the players would like. And it is something that it wouldn't feel like you're just doing it just to do it. I think that's one of the problems that some fans have with all the alternate uniforms is, are you doing it just to sell more merchandise? Florida State has a really cool uniform, the base uniform with the garnet and gold. But if you're doing it for that reason, I think it would make a lot of sense. I imagine that's got to be pretty pricey to get the new uniforms, and then they have to coordinate it with Nike and just kind of what they do for merchandise. But it's definitely worth asking about because I'll defer to Aslan. He says it looks good. I believe him, but I do know that the basketball players love it when they wear them.
I'm gonna go. All right, G.
I was wrong. I was wrong. It's November, not October. So I just didn't have my notes right.
Hey, it can still work. That's still football season.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I brought it up. Because I remember seeing them, so I looked, why they wear them and when they wear them. I was like, oh, November is still football season. So I think it'd be cool. Well, no bowl games in November, but it'd be cool if they had special bowl game uniforms too. But anyway, You guys have a great weekend. I appreciate all the coverage you all do. Appreciate you trying to get 1% better every day. And as always, support Zaxby's, join Warchant, and go Noles.
That's right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
And again, I'm sure it would be real expensive to suit up the entire football team with new uniforms, but you're only going to wear once. But with basketball, there's a chance basketball may not be playing in November. They may be playing in January. So maybe
there you go. It's perfect time. It's perfect time. Just wear those uniforms.
By the way, Pat Bird wants to know where's Gene. I think it's his dad's birthday. So he's seeing his son.
Stepfather's. Yeah, I think it's his stepdad's birthday.
Okay, there we go. He's alive. He's well. We promise. Welcome on into the show. It's the happy hour. Ira, Corey, myself, a whole bunch of Florida State fans here for you. Who's this? Where are you calling us from?
This is Rocket City, no Joe from Huntsville. Long time no here, fellas.
That's right.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How y'all been?
Good.
Smooth voice, Joe. Smooth. I like it, man. You might take my job with that silky golden pipe of yours, man.
I've been told that, and then with my football knowledge, with some of the points agreeing with Corey that we had in common, I may apply.
All right, man. Yeah, let's do it.
If you're agreeing with Corey, though, that might be the first strike. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, don't be like that.
What's going on in Rocket City, Joe? What's on your mind, bud?
Man, real quick, I'm glad I have been trying to get through for the past few weeks, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't get through because with everything from I had something to say about the schedule, but that panned out to me, So, and then I had, when Mr. Thompson went on, social media and all this other stuff, I had something to say about that, but that planned out too. So it's good. So actually, I just called with this question. I thought about this question on the way to work today, the other day. How long do y'all think? Let's fast forward about 3 years. Everything is going good, and Norvell got this place rocking. I mean, 10-2 every year, maybe playoffs.
Okay, all right, I'm on board.
Lord, how long do you think it'll take for other schools to come after him? And do you think Florida State smartened up this time by, when they let? I don't know the specifics of letting Jimbo get away. I don't know as far as if they had a buyout or whatnot. But do you think they smartened up by okay, we're not going through this time. If he gets this thing rolling, we got enough sense to know that we got to pony up the ends. How long do y'all think it'll take for somebody to come after Mr. Norvell if he gets this thing rolling?
Well, first off, Jimbo, there was no buyout. All A&M was on the hook for was paying the balance of his assistant coach's salary. So, yeah, they took away national championship winning head coach, 10-2 seasons, playoffs, no penalty. So
there's a reason they got to that point. But anyway, we can move on to this question. I think it's a fair question. I think the part of it is what is a coach's motivation going to be? And if he has success, is Mike Norvell motivated by money, or is he motivated by the opportunity to be in a program where he could consistently win? I think if Jimbo had liked the way things were going at Florida State, if he was happy with the administration, if he was happy with the direction of the program, I think Jimbo would have stayed here. I don't think he would have left for another couple $1 million a year. While it's easy for me to say, everybody that makes it about the $7.5 million a year, I really don't think it was that. He just wasn't happy here anymore, and I don't think he was going to be happy here. So if Norvell's happy here, I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem. The question is, I don't know if any of us know what his aspirations are, whether he wants to be an NFL guy. Florida State's a unique job in that you get this talent base to recruit from, you have the tradition of the program, and you get to coach in the ACC. If all those things are equal, and I think the ACC for a while now has been a much easier road than the SEC, I think it's a great job. If he's happy and he doesn't plan on going pro, I could see him staying for a long time. I don't know that the buyout's going to be the reason he stays.
I think the bigger issue, like you just mentioned, would be if he's as good as we think he is and gets this program actually turned around, is the NFL. I think maybe he has NFL aspirations. I don't know. But I think Jimbo, I think most people that were in Jimbo's position would have realized what position they were in and would have done what Dabo's done. You can create a juggernaut in the ACC. You recruit like an SEC team. You have an SEC-type fan base, but you play in the ACC. You could have created a juggernaut. Jimbo ran to the SEC West. Congratulations. What's his winning percentage there? You know what I mean? And I think he's done a fine job at A&M, but he hadn't turned that thing around. And I don't think there are many coaches that would leave. If they're getting their salaries doubled or tripled, I guess. But number one, I think all that's changing here soon anyway. Coaching salaries I do think they're going to hit a ceiling. But I just think that Mike, I don't think Jimbo's the rule. I think he's the exception. I think most people that are winning big at Florida State would stay at Florida State because they realize they have chance every year for a legitimate shot at a national championship. I don't know if Jimbo's ever going to sniff an SEC championship game at A&M. And as a competitor as that guy is he going to be okay with that? Like, okay, well, I am making $2 extra million this year that I can spend on all the horse feed. But otherwise, what's my life? My life isn't better. And I think most coaches, I thought it was crazy when he was thinking about LSU. And I think if Norvell turns it around and starts winning big at Florida State, I don't foresee how you go to another college. I think if you leave, it's for the NFL. That's just me. I haven't talked to the guy. Let's let him win a game first.
I totally agree. I got one more thing, and then I'll let you guys go. I was listening to the podcast the other day, I think a couple of days ago, and I think Corey had asked a question or had made a statement. If Norvell had come when Willie came, do you think we would be in a better position? And I was listening to that, and I was like, I have to agree that I think we would. I think even though it took Norvell maybe I think like 3 years to get Memphis to winning 10 games or whatnot and going to the Cotton Bowl, I think that our talent, though our record doesn't prove it, I think our talent is 2 or 3 years ahead of Memphis's talent. In that, I think if he'd have came and when Willie came, I think we'd have been 10 wins right then and there and going to that bowl. But I appreciate all you guys do. I love listening to the podcast. Y'all keep on what y'all doing, and go Noles from Rocket City.
There we go. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Joe.
it. Go on.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, bud.
Be blessed, y'all.
Tell you what, though, man. I hope Mike Norvell's getting some interest on all these discounts he's taking. I mean, the discount he took to come here first off, and then the pay deduction. I know everybody's taking it, but if it all does work out, you would imagine that he's built himself quite a bit of equity to get a nice sort of bump up in pay. I still think it's a deal, man. I mean, I know what he was making in Memphis, but to come to Florida State when the guy before you was making 5 and he crashed this thing into a ditch, and you're getting 3.5, it's pretty good, pretty humble of you. Anywho, hey caller, who's this? Where are you calling us from?
This is Daryl from Thomasville, North Carolina. How y'all doing?
There we go, Daryl. Doing
Hey,
well.
Daryl.
What's up, Daryl?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
It's raining here up in here in the North Carolina. So hope it's a little bit better weather where y'all are.
Well, maybe for a little while, but then there's some tropical storms heading to Tallahassee or the Panhandle.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about the quarterback situation. I know y'all keep talking about James Blackman has the inside track. When a new coaching staff comes into a program and he talks about it being an open thing, but for quarterback situations and everything, is it really an open forum for the quarterbacks, or is it the junior or the senior? Is it really his job to lose, or is it really a open contest?
I think it's really an open contest. They did not recruit James Blackman.
What?
No, I mean,
He's saying coming in,
it's an open contest. I think if Jordan Travis blew them away or Tate Rodemaker blew them away, they would have no loyalty towards James Blackman. And it's not like they're taking over a quarterback that's had a lot of success anyway. He started a lot of games, but he ain't won many. So, no, I think it's a true open competition when they come into camp. Maybe they look at him as, in practice, when you're going up against guys that have never been a starting quarterback, and you have been, there's probably a different way you carry yourself. He maybe knows to study more. He maybe knows the playbook better just because he's doing it. He's been doing this longer. But, I think it was truly open. And I think just the way they talk about James Blackman is why we think James Blackman's the guy right now. Not because he's the veteran and he has experience. I just think the way they talk, the way Norvell talks, it sounds like James Blackman is outplaying the other guys. And the dude that I think was going to threaten him the most is out until middle of September.
Yeah, I think if historically you assume that the veteran's going to have an edge. I mean, like when Jimbo got here, hadn't Weatherford already started when Jimbo got here? Yeah. So a lot of us assumed he was going to win the job, and then Ponder won it because it turned out Ponder actually got Jimbo's offense a lot better than Drew did. Then, of course, when Jameis went up against, a couple older quarterbacks, Clint Trickett and McGuire and those guys, well, not McGuire, but Clint Trickett and Jacob Coker. they, we thought he might go with the older guys. I thought he would go with Trickett, even though he wasn't a new coach. It was still the same idea because he was older, and he did. Jameis got the offense better. So I think if one of the younger guys had it clicked with them and they were just running with it, and James was still having some issues, then I do think you could have seen something else. But it sounds like James has made the progress they want to see. The younger guys haven't blown them away, at least not the two that are healthy right now. And they'll give James a shot. I don't think if James starts the season opener against Georgia Tech, and if he struggles those first few games, I don't think you're looking at they're going to ride with James Blackman no matter what. I think they'll give somebody else a chance if he can't get it done.
Right.
All right, Daryl.
I got a second question. Second question is like with the offensive line. I know Atkins is a good coach and everything, but I know you have to have talent in order to to make something work. With our offensive line, is there enough talent on that offensive line to work with for him to do something this year? Because I know Corey wrote an article this today that I read today. And, I know you got to have something to work with. So does he have anything to work with to put on that offensive line?
Yeah, Corey, you didn't talk a lot about the players in that article.
No, because what am I going to say, Ira? What am I going to bring up?
That's the question.
Yeah, I think man, he's got enough to be average. You know what I mean? Like these guys, Dante Lucas is a good player. We think Devontae Love-Taylor is going to be steady over there.
He's an upgrade.
And then the centers, I think you're going to have a decent center just because of the competition factor. So the left side of the line might be a bit of that's where Dante is, right? So Brady Scott at right guard. We'll see. He's a veteran. He's been here forever. Is he going to be able to turn it around? We don't know. But I do think that there's enough there to be average. Like there's enough there to be as good as just naming it. Georgia Tech's, Wake Forest. Like you don't have to be the worst in the Power Five. I do think there's enough talent, size, strength to be okay. Nobody's expecting them to be even good or decent, but just don't be the worst in the Power Five. What do you think, Ira? Be like the 25th worst in the Power Five. That would be a big jump up.
And I do think there's some things they can do scheme-wise to help them out. I don't think the whole offensive situation with Willie Taggart and his two coordinators the last 2 years not being totally on the same page, I don't think that's helped the offensive line either, or the quarterback play. So if you get better quarterback play, if you get better offensive cohesion, those things could help as well.
There you go. All right, Daryl. Appreciate you. Sorry.
Well, thank y'all very much, and y'all have a great day. And we love what y'all do, and eat your Zaxby's and support Warchant and doing those.
That's right.
Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it, buddy. I'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, I thought that was interesting, Aslan. When I asked about Baselli and Babion, and Norvell brought up Maurice Smith pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a guy. He's in the mix. He's in the mix for. I thought he'd be a swing guy, probably center and one
center guard.
So they have options, man.
But that would be. If you had two fifth-year seniors that got beat out by a redshirt freshman at center, could you imagine that?
It's Willie's guy. It'd be Willie's guy who ended up winning the job. So, or Lockett's guy, I guess, maybe more specifically. How about this though? Shout out to the big dog, Ray Pereira.
All right.
He's got big wallet. He's got big pockets. He's ready to rock and roll on this weekend. Play his theme. Play his theme. That's right. That's right. Okay. He wants a score prediction. Georgia Tech, I'll say 27-17 Florida State.
17 on that defense. Come on.
You're crazy. They might get a pick six or something. I'm going to say 30-13. I think the Norvell era, I think it's going to, and again, I'm just all aboard this guy, but I think it's going to start as well as Willie started poorly. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be the exact opposite. He's going to come into that press conference doing the Conor McGregor. Well, unlike Willie, who looked like he didn't know who he looked like he was looking at ghosts. Norvell's going to be cocky, arrogant, say, I told y'all it's going to be different. And I think they're going to be a really good, they're going to look like a really good football team. Or they might lose by 3 touchdowns.
Oh, Ira's got a phone call. Oh, this is
Can he mute his camera?
I don't know. It might be
there. You go. Yeah, he's going to do that. Norvell's going to walk in just like that. Did you like that? Did you like that 3 touchdown?
I muted him. It's okay. He can say what he's got to say. It's all right, Ira. You can say what you guys said. I muted you. There you go. Ira's back. Ira, do you got a prediction before you handle this big breaking news?
By the way, that better be either, and I hope it isn't, somebody injured. So there's an emergency, or you just got incredible news.
It's good news. Molly, my oldest, going back to college on Sunday. She doesn't go to college in Tallahassee,
Right.
And she's going back on Sunday. Her car, we had a repair done, took it back in. They were calling to let me know we can pick it up today. It was important because they're closed on the weekend, and so if we couldn't get it today, she's trying to drive back on Sunday. We were going to have a problem. So anyway,
hey,
get that call at 5 o'clock.
You know that thing I do on the Zooms where I just take me off video.
I can do that on this.
I think you just hit the stop cam thing at the bottom. Hey, but Ray, we really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much for that.
Ira didn't make a score. Did you make your score prediction, Ira?
No, he didn't.
I did not. I'm going to say 34. 34 to 10. 34 to 10.
This O-line is going to be dominating, folks. Road graders.
I still think Jeff Collins' defense will be a bit salty.
Again, we're not saying how they're going to score. There might be a kick return. Special teams might make a huge play. Asante might have a pick 6. Travis J might have a strip and score. Who knows?
There you go. How about shout out to Troy? Let's do a little John Beam. Last chance. 2 clap. Ready. There we go. $5 from Troy.
Thank you very much, Troy. We appreciate it, man. Wyoming, huh?
I wonder if he met Coach Bowden in Wyoming. That would be pretty cool. I wonder if Coach Bowden's been to Laramie.
I wonder if he's recruited. Florida State's never had a player from Wyoming. There's no chance, right?
Any Wyoming stories, Corey?
No. You mean like me personally?
Yeah.
No. One of my favorite players growing up was a guy named Finis Dimbo. He was a basketball player, and he played at Wyoming. And I just think that's the coolest name ever. He was like an All-American, and his name was Finis Dimbo. So that's my Wyoming story.
All right. How about this? And then we'll open the phone lines back up here in a minute. Rob,
good.
Specifics why the Jacksonville State game was moved to October 3rd and not the previously vacant, I guess you would say, September 19th.
What I heard, and I need to double check it, but my understanding is that conference, those conference schools are allowed to play non-conference games that they want. Their conference schedule got shut down. They're allowed to play non-conference games that they want to, but they're only allowed to play them in a certain window. Like they can't play they're allowed to play 4 games, but they can't spread them out throughout the whole year. They've got to get them in a certain window. So I think that was the trick, was getting their 4 non-conference games scheduled in like a 5 or 6 week window.
But what does it matter if they're not playing conference games?
It's just I don't know. All I know that's from what I understand from their bylaws or from whatever their agreement was to let these teams do this, is that they have to do it within a short period of time. I guess the idea is they don't want them having 1 game in September, 1 game in October, 1 November, 1 December, and then practicing an entire season when nobody else in the league is getting to do it. I don't know exactly, but that's what I was told. I meant to look it up to do a double check.
And we looked, Aslan and I both looked it up yesterday, Jacksonville State's schedule, and
they've got other games. They've got other games.
Do?
Those are the only one. It's the only official announced one.
Okay.
But
Are
they've
any
got
of them bigger than Florida State? Like, I feel like Florida State should be the one doing the needle moving. Like, look, you can come play here and we'll give you the chunk of change, but you're playing on when we want you to play.
I believe they already have agreements with the other game. I don't know why they haven't been announced yet. But at least one other game, and I think or 1 or 2 other games I think they already have planned. So anyway, that's the way I understand it. I'll try to look it up if I get a second here.
Okay. All right, phone line's back open, 850-792-5730. If you could, hit the thumbs up button if you're watching this on YouTube. We would appreciate it. It does make a difference. That's the way they keep score on the internet. You hit a little button with a thumb up. And
subscribe too, right? Don't we want you to subscribe?
That'd be pretty cool. Rob also said he thinks 38-13. He's bullish.
And I did it too. I fell into the trap. I mean, what have we seen from this? When do they ever beat anyone 38-13? Or what? I think I said 30-13. Ira's got him winning by 3 touchdowns. How about 42-10?
Let's go.
It's still like it's 2014 all over again. Like we've erased the last 6 years from our minds. We don't even think about it.
I do think one thing that I think is going to be interesting, and we, and I don't know if the coaches will have any idea. I do think there's talent, and I think they may be getting the schemes and all that. The one question we all have is we've seen this team not show a lot of leadership and a lot of perseverance. And the question is going to be is that any different, or do leaders emerge because that hadn't happened in the past? So I don't even know if the coaches know that. You
don't go to Southwood Plantation in Bainbridge, Georgia in the middle of August and not develop perseverance.
Good point. That's a good point.
Well said. Ira's mixing it up. Let's take a phone call. Thank you for hanging tight there. Who's this and where are you calling from? Welcome into the happy hour.
Jeremy from South Florida. How you guys doing?
There he is. There he is. Doing well,
what's up, Jay?
Man. What's on your mind?
Just thought I'd just switch gears a little. If the season actually happens still and the Corey and Ira road trip becomes a reality with Aslan filming, if you guys are riding back from, let's say, Miami, and there's no Zaxby's, unfortunately, where does Corey pick to stop to eat, or where does Ira pick to stop to eat?
Okay, so
that's a good question.
That is a good question. Number one, I would never be in a car with Ira again, not that long a distance, for multiple reasons, not just COVID. I would say if I saw a Bojangles, that's where I'd want to stop.
And there's our problem.
Yeah, and Ira doesn't like biscuits, which is, you explain that to me, Jeremy. How does someone like every other bread product on the planet but not biscuits?
Let me ask Jeremy.
And you live in Tallahassee. That's crazy.
But Jeremy, you're a South Florida guy. You see a lot of biscuits? You see a lot of biscuits down there?
At Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to Cracker Barrel in South Florida?
Jeremy is. Don't impugn Cracker Barrel.
Do we even have a Cracker Barrel in South Florida?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, come on.
Anyway, no, man, we're not going to Bojangles. We're going to, and here's the problem. Corey also would never in a million years sit down at a restaurant.
I'll sit down in a restaurant. I'm not sitting down in a Burger King.
I got to keep going, man. I got to keep moving. It's road trip.
I'm not sitting down in a Burger King, man. That's gross.
It can be fast food to go.
Yeah, it's fast food.
Here's the problem. And again, this gets us to our problem coming out of Texas that one time when we drove 19 hours was you get the drive-through, but then I don't want mayonnaise on my burger. And if they mess it up, now we're screwed. So that's why if you eat it there, you can find that out.
Did I ever tell you that story, Aslan? It was like a McBurger. Let's just say it was Burger King.
It was like a Roy. It was a chicken.
It doesn't matter.
Place.
It will say Burger King. He ordered a chicken sandwich with no mayonnaise. We go through the drive-through. He's open it up. He's like, "Yep, they got mayonnaise on it. Stop. I got to go in." So I pull into the parking spot so he can go in and tell him that they got it wrong. He takes the whole bag so I can't eat. He's like, if I can't, you can't eat. He takes the whole bag and walks into the restaurant with him.
I mean, I specifically said, let's not go drive-through because they're going to give me mayonnaise. And he's like, no, it'll be fine.
Aren't you glad you asked this question, Jeremy?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to switch gears a little.
I would say Wawa. Wawa, if it's available, quick pit stop, get a sandwich. Sandwiches are good late at night after a hard day's work, and then you're back on the road. Keep it moving. Keep it moving forward.
Wawa's not that quick, though, is it? I mean, I see people waiting in line at Wawa. A lot of people waiting for their prepared meals.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're covering a 3:30 Miami game, and then we're making our way up, the Turnpike or what have you. And actually, there's not off the Turnpike, but
I can't wait to see if this actually happens. That would be wonderful if we're actually if me and Ira are arguing about mayonnaise on his sandwich after a football game that we just covered. That will be glorious. I don't care. I'll go sit in a Burger King with you.
Corey, that was the whole thought behind it. Guys, keep up the great work. You guys are awesome. These happy hours have been amazing. Like on YouTube, rate and review on Warchant 5 stars. Support Zaxby's.
Right.
And keep on climbing, guys.
There you go.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Take care, man. Have a good weekend.
Gene should take us on a retreat.
Yeah. I got some stories to tell you around the campfire. You're not gonna like them.
If we're doing a trust fall, who's captain?
Yeah, we all fall into the fire.
Let's see here. Let's take another phone call here. Welcome on into the warchant.com happy hour. Who's this and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, how you doing, guys? This is Andrew from Chester, Virginia, by way of Thomasville, Georgia.
Okay.
All right.
Andrew.
What's up, Andrew?
Yellow Jacket in the house.
Yep, Yellow Jacket, Thomas County Central. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about was this morning, I think when I heard the Warchant podcast, was Corey was talking about he didn't like the way the schedule is worked up now with the bye week during the second week. I kind of disagree because I think we beat Georgia Tech. Everybody knows that.
Sure.
We get the little injuries or whatever. We rest up, and then we go into a bye week going into Miami. Now, what's more important for us to win? The Miami win or the Notre Dame win? And I think Norvell probably thought about, I don't know if the schedule or whatever, however it worked out, that we have to take that bye week or whatever. But I think it's more probable for us of us beating Miami than beating Notre Dame. So that bye week might help us out.
No.
Just my opinion.
No.
It might. It's really early for one, and then you got to play 5 games in a row. I think you almost treat Jacksonville State like a bye week anyway. Like I'm sure they're going to be game planning a little bit for Miami during that week, and or they would have been. Sorry, I'm sure this time they'll be game planning a little bit for Notre Dame. But yeah, just the old cliche about you learn the most from week 1 to week 2, you grow the most from week 1 to week 2. Well, in this case, they might grow a lot from week 1 to week 2, but then they have a bye. And then all of a sudden you're thrown into a rivalry game where you only have 1 game under your belt. Look, it's semantics. Really, it doesn't really matter that much probably where it falls. I just thought going 2-0 into Miami and the confidence that could give those guys would be coming off a win regardless going to Miami. Would have been a welcome change of pace for this program over the years. But you're right. I mean, it's really honestly, I don't think it matters that much. Ira, do you?
No, it would have been nice to possibly be 2-0. That might give you some confidence going into the Miami
and
game.
Get those young guys some early playing time. You know?
Yeah. I think that's the bigger thing. Check some guys that you've seen in camp that have shown promise to see if it's for real. And I think you get a better chance of that. In that game, or give them a chance to, because we'll see. Unless Georgia Tech, if Florida State actually handles Georgia Tech easily, then you can get some of those young guys in that game possibly. But that's going to be a game where you probably need to play all your proven players. It would have been nice to get some of those other young guys some reps, but it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's the end of the world, and it does give you 2 weeks to get ready for Miami.
I mean, so you play Georgia Tech, you win that game. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout or what have you. And then you shut it down 2 weeks. And then you got to turn around and play Miami. Just there's nothing good about it. It's not the end of the world, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, when you think about it, no, there's no silver lining to it. They're just not. It's not. You'd love to play Samford week 2, clean up some stuff, get young guys up to speed, and then you put all your focus on Miami. But
I 100% don't think Florida State wanted it this way. No. But they had it was just tricky doing the scheduling because you have a lot of schools in the ACC and some other conferences now that are trying to schedule these non-conference games. I think I saw where was it Virginia or Virginia Tech? One of the schools said they're not going to be able to schedule.
Yeah, Virginia just said we're not doing our 11th game. We're just staying with the 10.
Wow.
So they still have one at least. So that's better.
Yeah.
It's better than not having one at all.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, appreciate the call, man.
Got it in. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, you, buddy.
Man.
Man, we're wildly popular.
Yeah, look at that. DMV. There was a question here I wanted to pop up, but what are you going to do? Somebody's asking us about freshman under the radar guy, and they were saying Josh Griffiths, since he benched 500. I need to see a video of that. I need to see video.
That was pretty funny. Derek McClendon seems like he's got a good personality.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, Michael and I visited him in Tucker High School.
That's right.
Spring tour. He's a good dude. I like him. Welcome on into the Warchant.com happy hour. Who's this and where are you calling us from?
My name is Marcos, and I'm calling from Tampa, Florida.
What up,
Marcos?
That's right.
How
man.
close are you to Dale Mabry?
Oh, like not even 5 minutes, like 5 minutes at most.
Do you know who Dale Mabry is or was?
No, I have no idea.
Now you're going to know, and you'll be able to tell all your friends.
Come sit next to the campfire. Corey's going to tell you a story.
He was a blimp pilot that crashed into a power lines and killed a bunch of people in a blimp. So that's for real, Marcos. Yeah, so that's who the street is named after.
Wow, that's incredible.
So now you know.
That's
He died piloting the Army airship Roma, a dirigible he was testing when it crashed in Norfolk, Virginia. So.
But he also did a lot of good things before that.
Yeah, but it was 34 people that died, including him. He is buried in Arlington. I think he might have served in World War I, maybe.
He did.
Died in 1922. Anyway, sorry, Marcos. I know you didn't call for that, but I was glad to help out.
Yeah, that's a piece of information I can share with my friends.
There you go. You got it.
No, my question is, people give a lot of crap to James Blackman, and I think he's been dealt a really poor hand with all the different coaches and offensive schemes that he's been in. What do you think he has to do this year to kind of get people on his side, like numbers-wise or just demeanor on the field?
I think it's both of that. I think it's a good question. I think it's both of that. But more than anything, just win some games and make plays late that win games. And, I really honestly, I'll be honest, when I watched the Sun Bowl, I'm like, this is his last game in a Florida State uniform. Like, he's come unglued. Like, he's just fallen apart. And this is his 23rd start or whatever it is. It was just bizarre to see. But no, he's rallied back. He apparently has the inside track, like we talked about, for the job. And look, just don't what would you say, implode. Just be a solid quarterback. Everybody knows that he's not going to be a number one pick. He's not going to be a Heisman winner, but he can win games at this level. In fact, his freshman year, I know they finished 7-6. Well, he won them the Miami game, and then the defense, Charles Kelly did up. Like, he went and won the game for them in the final minute. And I feel like there was another game that he had a really nice play where they didn't end up winning it, but he was good late. And get back to that guy. Make plays late that matter. And if you do make a mistake, don't look like the world is coming to an end, and be a leader. I think people want to see that. And if they don't, if we're at Notre Dame and they're 2-2, and he kind of imploded in South Bend or had 3 or 4 picks, man, the whole world's going to be calling for Chuba. So he's just got to be more solid and more consistent. He's not going to put up huge numbers, but just be better. I know that's a dumb answer, but that's my answer. Ira?
Yeah, no, that is a dumb answer. But what else? No.
Thanks.
No, the rest of it was fine. The last line was but no, I think it's it's funny if you look back at James's career. I thought, and I think you guys have mentioned it before, his first year seemed to be maybe his best year. And then it seemed like when DeAndre came back from his injury, all of a sudden James seemed different in practice. Like when we were out of practice, you could see he was like a little bit more like he was pressing when he was trying to beat out DeAndre. And then last year he was definitely pressing, especially late in the year. And some of those, turnovers haven't been his fault. For one of the worst interceptions in the bowl game, we know for sure the tight end ran the wrong way. And that led to James throwing an interception. But the key there, to me, the one thing you want to look for is when something bad happens, and it's going to happen, something bad's going to happen, does he handle it and just go back to the sideline and give his teammates somebody to kind of hold on to? That's the biggest problem is you want your quarterback or your team leader to be somebody that everybody else can look to in times of adversity. James hasn't been that guy. I mean, he's kind of struggled emotionally in those situations. He's got to figure that out to be a really good quarterback. I think he can be okay, but I don't think it's about anything physically or learning the offense. I think it's just handling those situations.
I think to Corey's point, just close out games a little bit stronger because he's never going to be a 68, 70% completion guy. He's just not. I don't see that being part of his game. But, find Tamorrion Terry streaking down the sideline open against Virginia. Find those plays out there. Make them late in games.
The Wake Forest game where you got to reach for the first down and he came up like 2 inches short.
Plus, just to share like the dysfunction he was dealing with in El Paso during the Sun Bowl, he throws a pick, or was it the Sun Bowl? Because I know Hornibrook wasn't there. I forgot. And I this doesn't affect how important this is, but one of these games, maybe it was Clemson. I take it back. It was the Clemson game. He throws a pick, goes back to the sideline. Kendall's talking to him. Kendall Browse has no idea who's going to be the quarterback the next series. I got my binoculars on him. He's talking. Kendall grabs his analyst, talks to his analyst, like shrugs. The analyst goes and talks to Willie for like 10 seconds, goes back, talks to Kendall. Kendall then walks away from James and goes and grabs Alex Hornibrook. They had no idea who was going to go in series to series. That's how disconnected and dysfunctional things were. It's not going to be that way. So I think that hopefully gives you some reason to think that maybe he'll be a little bit more mentally sturdy when
but he has been through a lot from
Yeah.
being half out the door and being a true freshman.
I also think with Norvell's system, there's a lot of checks, so maybe that
Yeah.
would help. I feel like the Willie's system, it was just more like it seemed like you had only one read and everybody else was running like crap routes or something like that.
or running the wrong way, face the wrong way, something like that, right?
Yeah.
All right, Marcos, that's what we think, man. Yeah, that's the right thing, man. Be optimistic about James Blackman. He's been dealt a bad hand, and people grow and get better. Let's hope he does.
I agree. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
No problem. Have a good one.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
He'll definitely be getting. He'll be getting more. He'll just be getting better coaching because you know that the head coach and the OC are on the exact same page. That's right. You're right, Damon Hatter. Things are turning around. Look, I'm going to look up Finis Jimbo until we get a call. Aslan, what are you going to do? You're going to drive the show? What are we doing?
Yeah, phone lines are open. I mean, somebody calls, I'll take it. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Just like that. Ask and you shall receive. Welcome on into the Warchant.com happy hour. You got Ira, Corey, a whole bunch of Florida State fans across the world listening to you. Who's this and where are you calling from?
What's going on, guys? It's Rick from St. Augustine.
All right, Rick. There we go.
How's it going?
We're going pretty good. I wanted to, first off, you guys were talking about some Australian stuff with our punter, Mastromano, being from Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent 3 winters out there in Australia. The Australians themselves pronounce it Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. And the guy who told you that, or the guy who was talking to you about it 2 days ago, said the harbor city, and that is Sydney because of the Sydney Harbor. So just a little trivia.
There you go.
Can't believe everything our subscribers tell us, apparently. What a cold world.
How nice is it there, Rick?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Definitely a great place. I got to travel the whole country, so it was a really cool place. Just a heck of a flight to get there. It's about 23 hours worth of flight.
Can you imagine being on a plane for 23 hours? I mean, holy moly.
Yeah. It's not as fun as it sounds.
I'm sure.
So my question, I said, just a hypothetical. If you could, you get 2 options. Option 1 is Florida State plays 1 3-game stretch. They have to be 3 consecutive games in the schedule, and you can pick those games. Option 2 is you flip a coin. They play a full season no matter what on one side. If it lands on the other side, no games at all. Which one are you guys picking and what games if you pick the 3?
Okay, so we have a 50% chance of having a full season or no season, or we have a 100% chance of a 3-game season.
Exactly.
You know what? I think I would do the coin. I think I would flip the coin because to me, I mean, I would love to watch college football, but a 3-game season almost feels like preseason, like exhibition anyway. If I want to do it, I want to do it. As a famous Florida State alum once said, if you're going to, I can't remember what's the quote.
If you're going to do it, then do it big.
Do it big, then yeah. I that's what I would do. I feel like you'd flip the coin and hope for a 10, 11 game season.
I'm probably there with you. If I had to pick 3 games, I would go with Jacksonville State, Notre Dame, North Carolina to give Sam Howell something to think about in the season finale. But
what would be the rationale for those 3 games?
Well, just you get a tune up in Jacksonville State.
Right.
You're going to lose Notre Dame, but it's a cool experience. Notre Dame's a nice place. It's a good opportunity to play at that in that environment. Well, it won't be much of an environment, but that campus, and then come home against North Carolina and beat Sam Howell. I think.
I see. So you're picking the 3 games on the schedule that are stretched.
Yeah, I think he said 3 in a row.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's probably the best stretch there. I might do Georgia Tech, Miami, Jacksonville State, because then you're ending with a win. You feel good about yourself going into the recruiting cycle and going into the postseason.
Maybe 2-1. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I think I'd flip the coin. What about you, Aslan?
Yeah, give me 3 games, just guaranteed.
Okay.
I can't risk not having the season.
That's hard, man.
I didn't follow all the logic in it or whatever, but I want to play Louisville though. Maybe I'll do Notre Dame, North Carolina, Louisville, just so I can hang out with my boy Scott Satterfield for a few minutes, just kind of see what's going on, catch up with him, see how the family is. Cameron's got a Dazio, or he had a Dazio. Satterfield and I were supposed to have a bromance every year in Charlotte in the summer, but
yeah.
Well, wouldn't you maybe you'd start with Louisville and go the next 3 games?
Yeah, you can do Louisville, Pitt, NC State.
Okay.
A couple wins in there, maybe.
You take Notre Dame out of the equation, or you
Say
can take North Carolina, Louisville, Pitt.
Bailey Hockman. Give Bailey Hockman something to think about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, give both those traders something to think about. Sam Howell and Bailey Hockman.
What about you, Rick? What are you taking?
I think I would take the 3 games just because, you're guaranteed 3 football games. You're guaranteed film. You're guaranteed that recruits can see the difference this year. And I want some football. That's all.
Yeah, I'm really starved for it too. It's going to be, we need it. We need football.
All right, Rick, thanks for the call, man.
Opportunity here.
Oh, sorry.
Last thing I was going to say was a golden opportunity here to combine the SEC and the ACC. You got the Southeast Conference and the Atlantic Coast Conference. You can turn it into SAC, the South Atlantic Conference. Mm-hmm. And if the Big 12 joins, you can just call it the Big Sack. And I think Corey would love that.
The Big Sack.
Absolutely, I would. I'm already calling it the Big Sack.
Sounds good.
You've already called it that? Oh, then I missed that.
No, I was saying right now, starting from now, I'm calling it the Big Sack.
He's embracing it. He's embracing the Big Sack.
Hey, Ira, come on.
Oh, my bad.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. Go Noles. I love everything. I love the podcast, and I listen every day. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Rick.
Appreciate it, bud.
Have a great weekend.
He said he loved everything. I like that. That's a good way.
Well, I think he's trying to include me because, like this, I'm the third wheel without Gene here.
Yeah.
It's, hey, we love the podcast, and hey, you.
No,
you're
sell yourself.
You're kind of behind the scenes guy, Ira. You're like George Martin with the Beatles.
Apparently, I am Mo. Ira's Larry, and you're Curly, Corey. So
because I'm bald.
Mo is my favorite.
Somebody called you the Silver Fox. I'm trying to find the thing. Yeah, there you go. See, people love you.
Hey, eyes on. Phone's ringing.
I know. I got it. Chill out. Hey, don't tell me how to do my job, buddy.
Sorry.
Welcome on into the Warchant.com happy hour. Where are you calling us from? Who is this, and what's on your mind?
Hey, this is Mike from Enterprise, Alabama, home of the Boll Weevil.
That's right. Small Circle City. Little Small Circle.
Nice.
Boll Weevil. There you go. Enterprise. Represent.
Right. Yes, sir. Hey, all right. So this is an important question, but I was always curious about this since the pandemic hit. If the upper and ups at Florida State would have known that the next season was going to be at 20% fan capacity, do you think Willie Taggart would have held on to his job so they could avoid that buyout?
Yes.
It's a fair question.
It's a really good question. 89% of me says absolutely, just pure financial. But then also, I've been talking to Norvell every day. Well, no, I haven't. These two guys have. I've been transcribing what he says. But you hear him talk and you hear the players talk, and good grief, you hear his coaches talk. And it was it was much better to rip off the Band-Aid and just get somebody in here like this. I think, financial, but that's tough, right, Ira, to weigh that?
Yeah.
I think the program is going to be a much better place in 2021 with Mike Norvell. And I don't even think, I know. But 2020 right now, the finances are so dire that you could really use that extra $16 million.
Or 18.
Yeah, or 18,
but who's counting? Yeah. No, it's a good question, man. It's a good question. I'm sure David Coburn, the athletic director, has probably mulled that over a time or two. But you would think, especially if they get these 2 or 3 games, to Rick's point, the last caller, if they can get 2 or 3 games and they show an improved product, it's going to mean a big difference in recruiting. So at least you get you trending in the right direction for when things get normal. This thing was going in the wrong direction. I mean, we all knew it. And so from that standpoint, at least you get the improvement process started a little earlier, even if you don't see any financial returns.
Right. I totally agree. And fortunately, like Corey said, they went ahead and ripped the Band-Aid off. So it's just kind of weird to think if the pandemic would have hit earlier than it did, we might actually not be in the situation we're in.
Absolutely. Yeah. You wouldn't have fired them in the middle of a pandemic. I can't imagine they would have done that with all the cost cutting they've had to do already and the more that's coming. Right, Ira? The
nice thing about that Band-Aid reference is I don't think you were ripping that Band-Aid off because it was already kind of oozing out. Like, I don't know if it was the wound was just kind of, it was moist. I don't think you're really ripping off that Band-Aid. It's kind of half fallen off.
Yeah.
And then Finally,
It was wet. It was wet and kind of gushy, a little bit gushy.
All
right?
Okay.
I'm not being gross, man. I'm talking about a wound, an open wound on your arm.
That is pretty gross.
Gross.
So anyway, yeah, I think they made. Bottom line is, I think they made the right move. But the problem is, you're not going to see the results financially, maybe for a couple years down the road.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey guys, thank you for taking my call.
Yep.
Y'all are awesome, and I appreciate this every week, guys. Go Noles.
For sure.
Take care, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for calling.
Look at that, man. Virginia, Alabama, Florida.
I was thinking you guys stopped doing the having the voicemails from people and where they call from. That was always nice. Your little tease, people from around the country listening to the show.
We had Wyoming. I mean, like 9 people in Wyoming, and one of them is watching the show. That's incredible. The odds of that are impossible. All right, guys, wrapping up. Is that the hour?
That's a wrap on us. They'll have a scrimmage tomorrow, and then in the early or the late evening. What's 8 p.m. considered by most people, Ira? You normal human beings.
I think it's evening. It's evening.
Okay.
Late evening.
We'll speak to the coach and the players, and we'll bring you all the reaction. So hopefully we'll get some good feedback on. You think it'll be good cop, happy cop, Mike Norvell?
I think we're past the bad cop, man. I think it's full speed ahead, good cop right now.
We turned it around.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Head over to warchant.com for plenty more, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.